Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the skirmish going on in Fulton County, Georgia. Let me tell you what's happening and then double back and tell you about its importance. Okay, we saw, and it was really seemingly consequential, and we're not sure why, that the DOJ, the United States, was able to get a search warrant of the election offices of Fulton County and carted away some 700 boxes of ballots and pictures of ballots and pretty much the whole keys to the kingdom in a way that, I'll talk about this a little later, could be very useful for anyone if you happen to know someone who was looking to completely subvert the election. So when they were able to do it with regular criminal process, it was like, holy shit, how did they do it and what happens now? Then, and the new developments are first, the kind of top dogs, the officials in Fulton County, now joined by Fulton County itself. So now the official county has come in. That gives a little oomph, but also the possibility of getting over certain standing issues has come in and said, give us back our property. Now, we've seen motions like this happen, including with Trump during the Mar-a-Lago search, including recently with the James Comey search of Dan Richmond, where Dan Richmond said successfully, give me back my property. You don't have a right to have it. So this is a way to challenge the search and make it basically, I don't know, go away. You could imagine an order that says United States make no copies, etc. But this is so important to them, and do you trust them to do it? And now the district court, a Trump appointee, has come and said this is important. People are really focused on this. This thing that the United States filed under seal, the affidavit, where the agent who went to the magistrate gave a whole recitation under penalty of perjury that supposedly established probable cause. That's what everyone needs to see to understand what the hell happened here and how a neutral magistrate green-lighted the actual search warrant and gave them the ability to go in and ransack the election offices. And that he has now ordered, has the district court judge, that affidavit to be unsealed by tomorrow, Tuesday at 5 p.m. We tape this on Monday, February 9th. Okay. The motion is really that Fulton County now and Fulton County officials have filed is pretty much just sort of, it's, as well done as can be now, but it's kind of flailing because they don't know exactly what went down. But what they say is, here are the standards for giving back the search warrant materials and evidence that were seized. First and most important, you have to show that the government exhibited a callous disregard for constitutional rights. Now, back to, say, Dan Richmond, they took stuff that was given for a whole nother reason 10 years ago and applied it and didn't try to screen out attorney-client, and that was enough to satisfy this. Here, there's really no way around it. They're kind of shooting in the dark, but it's a way that gets them into court, gets the order. We want to see the affidavit, and then it will certainly be amended, and the fight will be on. But there's a four-part test, most importantly, starting with this notion, callous disregard for constitutional rights. And what the petitioners are saying for now is, look, and it's true, this is what to most of us makes for the mystery. Look, we've had time after time, 11 different times where this election in Fulton County was certified as having been clean, safe, and secure. 2, we're talking about events that went on over 5 years ago outside of the statute of limitations. And the statute that they're supposedly proceeding under has to do with fraud in elections. It seems like it has to be. And of course, it's Trump's most dearly held tenet that he says again and again, even though it's a complete pile of crap, that the election was rigged, I just need 11,780 votes, et cetera. So but you have the petitioners saying there must be a callous disregard for constitutional rights, but really not showing it. But that's the way the game has to be played. Then there are other factors about, it's kind of akin to stays that you've seen saying things like, what the equities are really with us and the other factors. But the big thing is this notion of callous disregard. So this is the motion that now will effectuate the release of the affidavit, which everyone will be ready to devour, because this is an inroad that the administration has not been able to make yet. And if it's able to somehow in Georgia, well, this is not speculation. We know they are poised to do it in 14 other states. This is part and parcel of Donald Trump saying we need to take over and federalize the election in 15 states. Those are the ones, of course, that he might lose, and he needs to have the power to try to reverse and pull the same mischief that he did in 2020 and 2021 when he couldn't get away with it, but now the deck is stacked even more. So what exactly has been found by a neutral magistrate and one who, from best I can tell, I've tried to figure out, is this a kind of, has the sort of Trump, complete leverage and boot on the neck now been insinuated at the magistrate level? And I don't think it's likely. I think by all reputation, she's a good magistrate, so something bizarre has happened. And if it were extended to other parts of the country, we would have what really is, for these miscreants, the real beginnings of a structure to let them really make trouble before the election, during the election, right after the election, when time is tight. Remember, this is the very stuff Pam Bondi, writes to Governor Walz saying, maybe we'll stop invading your state if you give us your voter rolls. Like, huh? What's that about? And we know that they are been asking folks to just give it over, and it's not clear who can and can't in different states. And we know they've called a meeting. I'm going to be focused on this. It hasn't really been too well publicized yet, of secretaries of state from many different states. And what's that going to be about? I think some kind of effort to shake loose this most valuable of materials. Who are the voter rolls, the things they could use to make wholesale challenges down the line. So a magistrate permitted them to do it in Fulton County based on an affidavit that was intended to establish probable cause. The magistrate thought it did, and now 700 boxes of everything they need for Fulton County to make mischief are in the possession of the DOJ. Fulton County wants them back, and we've got to know, A, just for what's going on, and B, for the effort to get them back, how the hell they got their hands around them in the first place, what is in that affidavit, what persuaded the magistrate. That's a small little matter from 6 years ago that nevertheless has potentially huge repercussions in the most important of all issues, the reason that I've been so focused on, say, the Illinois v. Trump case, any kinds of claims of deference that would permit him to screw with the elections. This is his best shot now to do that. And is it going to be cut off at the beginning, or is it going to be green-lighted to then go even more broadly and widely? Quite a lot about what happens in the midterms will turn on that. So stay tuned for the unsealing of that affidavit tomorrow, Tuesday, and the motion is there for all of the big officials and also Fulton County itself to go in and fight and say, give us this stuff back. Will that be enough if they win to make the whole thing go away? Or do they still have a leg up in Fulton County and a way to try to go to other places? Big, big question. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching Talking Feds. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. And for a lot more content, all of my essays, ad-free podcasts, and weekly Ask Me Anything Q&A sessions, check out the Talking Feds Substack and please subscribe there as well. Talk to you later.